Hello and welcome. It is the 9th day of September 2019. It is a Monday. This is the Money Charts channel. My name is Derek All Bets Trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Okay, so this area here at the approximate area of 92 and three quarters, price action has stayed above. And it broke above that level on June the 21st, ultimately topping on the 26th. That's 7 days or 1 week. So the amount of action that it had in that 1 week is the entire range, and it has not seen much of the upper end of that range, but it most certainly has been holding above the lower end nicely for the last week or so in here, 7 or so days, just like this was 7 days, going from about 92 to almost 14. Hanging in there within the 18, but at the same point, having this attempted breakout in here, pulling back, and even this, we've had a little bit of a pullback without breaking this level of resistance near the 18 average of lows. But as I've been stating for 2.5 months now, as this top is June's 26th, the entire month of July, entire month of August, few days into July, and entering, we are in the second week of September. That's about 2.5 months. And this date breaking out occurred on June the 20th. Well, about 2.5 months prior to that was the April 1st breakout, where it got above 4,000, doing better than tripling its price. So that move of that 2.5 months is spending pretty much around that same near amount of time, just pulling one of those like bull flagish kind of deals. But at the same point, it's also a descending triangle, as we had that case through all of 2018, which eventually broke to the downside. The difference of that one, it was coming from a down move. This one's coming from an up move in here. There's actually many differences: the volatility, the size of its move, and its even duration of time. This is 2.5 months, where the last one was most of the year. Now let's move on to Cosmos. Atom is the ticker symbol. I got some lines in, and they're not Fibonacci. They represent where the lows were. This low, the first one, well, I guess the start of it, really the open, I guess. But this level of support in here was supported again, but that was that. And we didn't resist this level. Supported here, resisted here, supported here, almost resisting this, but no. Well, ultimately, it supported down here, and it has managed to get above this point. Like normal, the length of time it goes up versus down, 3 days from this low. Three green candles up. It looks like in today's session it's breaking above it with the intraday move. We'll get to that in a second. Well, more than a second, but you get the point. Yesterday's session of 26.73%, and again, 3 days making it to this high, which it really started with the open on August the 19th. So August the 19th through September the 5th. So what it lost in about 3 weeks, it got back in about 3 days. Is this possible going to continue to go further? Well, I got this line in at 33.76. It's just one area of possible resistance if it does, and usually you would expect it piercing extra. This one didn't. It didn't get there, but that would be one of the next areas we do see after yesterday's session. That price action did manage to pull down to about 24 after hitting this high of the area we're at now at 28 change, and it's obviously on the up part. Well, let's take a look at the next shorter term, which would be the 8, and we can see how large that move is, as there was the move that had the thing pull back, rally a bit, pull back, and then get above whatever that level of resistance is, which we'll see more clearly when we continue shortening it on the 3 hour. The pieces start to become a little more clear. We can see that there was a resistance level break at around this level here, which had the phenomenal candle breakout move, and then this consolidation for about 6 or 7 periods, which left the previous period, 3 hour time frame, 27 minutes 36 seconds left. The majority of this period is already in on the single hour. Kind of interesting how the exact low, or pretty much the exact low of the last support, how on the 7 o'clock timestamp it gets above it, pulls back to the sideways mode, gets to pretty much the exact number, pulls back to a matching low, this time to the 18 lows, And then when it exits here, gets above it, pause period, and then the ultimate break. Three great continuation moves up. But more importantly, now it's at this previous support key level here. Break it, it could go big. You ultimately can't be surprised if it stops going up from here, if it pulls back. And this line drawn in here between all the way down to about 25 and change is this very much key area in the bull market, or higher high, higher low, and thus an area of the higher lows, because you got higher low here at this 10 o'clock timestamp at about 18. I guess you can count one of these in here on 19, but definitely counting this here. Whichever one's counted in here, this breakout one definitely got replenished to this higher low here at 24. So that's the last higher low. So we'd like to see one, okay, maybe around 25.85, maybe one 2600. A little coming back to here and usually piercing would be that. But if it just keeps going higher, then I'm going to be talking about this number to be where we are at now, right around 2860, to be a level of support. But post this move in here, these three candles, to me, they're definitely not on the bearish variety, although it still is in the early, or that level where it's just at that resistance, breaking above it. We're not far off. That's one way I'm trying to say it, for what you need to do for breaking that established resistance. Via the 15, and we can see this move was a fast one. This candle went up at 7:30 yesterday morning. Huge pullback. There's the rally last night up to 1845, pullback again. And that's after having a move like this, holding and staying above here for a while is big, but holding and staying above and congesting on the upper end of the range between 26 and a third, and of course this high. And it's been doing that pretty well so far, but as you can see, still overextended. That you're going to have a pullback at some point. But as mentioned, if it gets above this, you can try to bet all you want that it's going to go down, and you might be right. And the next thing you know, you could be wrong at times, and we're at 3150 in a matter of like, well, look how fast it broke out above this level here. Breaks above 2263. Next thing you know, oh, okay, up 600 points, like 20-30%, just like that. And if we're going to talk about percentage moves, let's get to the realization that this was 1800 low change, and it's managed to get up to under 3000. Not quite, not even close to that of 1200 points, which means not even close to doubling. It's got to get above this line to even double. The net of its decline, 8300 from this high to again under 2000. That's a little over 4x. So the roller coaster ride of cryptos, that's what this is. Nothing is changing how it's been, where markets go down slower than they go up, or they go up faster than they would go down, as that is staying or dormant, or just, or whatever. It's been the normal. And whenever you have these types of moves, and this is the first move this has really had above the 18 average of highs since this decline has moved. The first test is always it's so important to hold on the 18. And if you ever see weakness amongst the 18 average of lows after you see an attempt like this get started, then you gotta be very cautious that not only could it breach its previous low, which would be around 18, but actually go to like new lows, 14, 13, 12, wherever on the lower end. But they go up faster than they go down. So I mentioned, yeah, 3 weeks, it got back in 3 days. Well, from this high in here, I'm going to count the breakdown just for the fastest amount of time as possible. June 17th, bottoming September the 6th. All of July, all of August, 2.5 plus months. So maybe in 2.5 weeks, or under 2.5 weeks, it gets it all back. That's just another way of stating that it wouldn't surprise me that if, say, it's September the 28th, and this is 7,700. Just for that very reason. And of course, if this gets going, and this is not a failed move, or even if it's not that of a real move, but it's a slow timing move, then they happen. I've seen it happen many times where it goes just from the lows, lower lows, lowest lows, all those things. You get to the 18, you don't do much in there, and then when you get above it, you have huge volatile moves that can have like your 4, 6, 8 to X gains. And when I say this, I'm saying this with all coins for this potential. It's just this one now is attempting to do such an event. And you get spots where you have like 60% days, down 28% the next day along the way. So whether that's going to happen, time will only tell. I do see that Binance is going to be allowing the Americans back into trading by the end of the month, it looks like. So that I think is a bullish point as well. And markets go up, markets go down. You had huge move from point A high to point B low. This low is known after the fact for if this is a failed breakout and it just goes below it, then it won't be the low. But the question is at what point will the low be and the high be for the next key low or key high, key low, and then the key high? Because if it's this low here, maybe it only gets up to 35 or 3,900 or 4,000 something. Maybe 6,000, maybe previous high around 8, 9,000. Maybe it breaks, it goes to 20, 30, 40. These are all possibilities for what I would consider the next wave move higher. Now, Waves getting its ass kicked, like a lot of them. 6,000 plus here, 1,000 plus now. But for the day, it's up 4.6% and has made a move to the 18 average of lows, meeting up near the area of this level of key support. On the 3 hour term, okay, I didn't want to do that. Where were we? Well, before this all happened, obviously the big decline. These things have been going down ferociously. And just in the short term, via the 3 hour, this is going back to August 24th, and only as high as 1320. It hits a low pretty much at the 1,000 number. There's all this consolidation through time, and then this statement breakout right now. How much higher this is going to go, whether this will be a successful correction, and how it will follow if it is after that. Well, we'll see. Anytime it has a failed breakout, I'm always going to be looking, like I say many times, within the lows. But for now, it's having this attempt to go higher. Let's take a look at this on the single hour. From the low, making these higher lows. Establishing at first was this level of resistance here. And after getting from this point here to ultimately on the breakout, it congested in the area, getting above and below it. And meanwhile, establishing a new level or upgrading its resistance, really. Hit once, twice, 3 times, and then after from this high, having this great correctionary successful move, supporting really this in here. But then on this breakout here, well, that one was for real. It broke out that level at about 1035. Now it's 1072. Over the 15-minute time frame, it's been a half-hour run maximum because we're 1 minute 41 seconds left in the 15 period, pretty much done, as it's 10:43 a.m. as I'm doing this. But this last 15-minute period up 1.34%, pretty much the same right now for this one as well. And shorter term from that, the 4. There was some decent volume here at 9 o'clock in the morning, but the volume has really been coming in for the last 20 plus minutes as it has managed to get above this resistance. And how far high it will go, the corrections that can come down. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this was 10:57 in like 10 seconds from now. I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying that the volatility is at a grand level that could very easily happen, and I could be seeing 1089 in 10 seconds as well too, because of what's going in within the markets. But for me, I got to check this out and see what I may need to do. Probably nothing at all as far as trading at this time anyway. And thank you for watching the video. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.